and in a most memorable dream, something got on top of me while I was lying in bed and started making growling noises. This dream happened again nights ago, but it was a little different. I never actually got to see this animal creature.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Let's Dream Podcast. This is your host Lee.
And I'm Casey Lucid. Hello everybody.
And today we have another episode of Dream Interpretations for you guys. I hope you guys been enjoying that as much as we have. So I'm going to go ahead and just read out the first one for y'all. The first dream we have is from user South Lose A Boy 3. Their title is, I have dreamt of inviting someone outside of our house to dine in. In my dream, I saw this guy. I'm kind of attracted to him IRL, outside our home, which is not our real home, and invited him to come over and eat. He shyly accepted my invitation. When I was walking him inside, my brother and my mom saw him. I barely remember if they asked me about him or not. The guy and I went to the dining area to eat. I barely remember the other stuff, we were talking about while eating, but I know we were trying to get to know each other. We had a long conversation, but for some reason I had to wake up because I think I have to pee. Or it's just that I randomly went half awake from a deep sleep.
Okay. I feel like this one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, she just, I assume it's a she. I think it's she. I like the name, though. Lose a Boy.
I don't know, it could be either.
Yeah, it could be either, really. This dreamer clearly was attracted or at least somewhat interested in this person, so they dreamt about getting to know them. That's what I get from it. Yeah.
You know, it might be like one of those cases where like, oh no, I don't really like him that much, but this person is like pretty attractive. Like I don't have feelings for him. Could be just lust or something.
It could be. I like the fact that they wrote in that their brother and mom saw the person and there was no significant like response from as far as I can tell.
Which is the best response, honestly.
But it could be also that the dreamer is thinking like, oh, my family might not think much of them.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a bad thing.
Which could be kind of like it's not really a bad thing. But it could be like, also, what does my family think? I hope like they don't think bad of them either, you know?
I also like the fact that this person invited them in to eat, because that's usually kind of like a gesture of good intentions, you know, like usually you eat with someone whose company you enjoy. It's across cultures, eating with somebody is generally considered some type of hospitality, you know, or like it's a well-being or like the intent behind it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I mean, usually like even if you're lusting for someone, that's like the first sign of like, you know, liking someone, you know? Yeah,
good point. Yeah, so, usually people go out to dinner before anything else. Or
yeah. The other thing I would say is like maybe, obviously this is all like in your head, but also like that person is a person too. And,
yeah.
You know, sometimes we just create a story in our own heads about the other person that we're kind of liking. So we don't, but that's kind of like a fallacy because we just have this one-sidedness that's all created in our heads. So just be careful of that, right?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. I would say it's not. I would say that extends to pretty much everyone, not just people that you like, but just anyone in general. When you don't know them, your brain automatically tries to kind of like either fit them in a category or kind of like come up with what they may be like.
Yeah, that suits you. Like the part where you invite him over and he shyly accepted. Like maybe he's not shy, maybe he's more outgoing, or you know, and maybe he gets along well with people, and you'd be surprised.
Good point. Moral of the story. Get to know the person in real life, not just in your dream.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so the next dream is from user Sarcasm97. I like the name. My friend might have visited me in my dream is the title of the dream. It goes, I found out my friend took his life back in March. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, I ended up finding out 4 months later, and I only found out because I came across his sister's Facebook account and I saw a post about it. I saw him last back in February and I'm just really sad about it. I've been grieving these past few days and I'm pretty sure I ran out of tears. I had a dream where I was in a house with maybe like 4 or 5 bedrooms, and for some reason, we were at this random house and random people I've never seen in my life. I remember I was looking for him, knocking on every door asking for my friend. I finally asked the person who was standing by the staircase where he was, and they said he was downstairs. I go and I see he was lying down on the couch. I went down and I came up to him. No words were exchanged. I went up to him, lay down and cuddled up with him, and he just stared at me and gave me this warm smile that I missed so much. I ended up waking up and I forgot I was listening to the playlist I made dedicated to him before I fell asleep. The One That Got Away by Katy Perry finishing up, and then My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion was the next song playing. Oh, man.
So, I mean, this is unfortunate, but I just really also like this dream.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a brave thing to share on the internet. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks, but what do you think, Lee?
I mean, so I think it's pretty clear. Also, not at the same time. What could the person be feeling? I think what you experience in the dream is what you're basically processing in real life, it seems.
Yeah.
Because you obviously had a certain period of time where you weren't interacting with him, your friend. And during that period of time, it's like, what, 4 months or something? Or months, or even more?
Yeah.
And that, your dream just pretty much interpreted as like what you experienced. You come into this house, there's a bunch of random people you don't know. You're feeling lost. You're feeling desperate for, for your friend again.
Yeah.
And you're just like really struggling to find him. I think it's very sweet that, he actually appears in this dream, because it's kind of what, a grieving person would need in that emotional state.
I agree. That's actually one of the things that I really like about lucid dreaming, and I've talked about it with some people I've interviewed on the podcast, where it's like some people think it's really weird if you're lucid dreaming and then in your dream you summon a dead relative just because you want to see them again. That's really kind of like a weird thing to do, or talk about in everyday life. But it's actually a really therapeutic thing to do, because like the people that I've talked to that are avid lucid dreamers always end up really enjoying the experience. And speaking, personally, I've had a lot of dreams where I've seen dead relatives in my dreams, and I don't think it's ever been a bad experience. Have you had any experience ever seeing like a person you knew was dead in the dream, Lee?
I haven't experienced that.
Okay.
I personally don't see anything wrong with it either. And if you kind of look at kind of older interpretations of like, how Egyptians, how Chinese, ancient China interpret these dreams, it's more like this past figure who deceased or recent deceased shows up in your dream. They visited you, and they act, and they're usually like a source of like guidance or something.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see it that way. Also, you might have some kind of, and it also seems to me that this person may have some kind of unknowns feelings for him.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's probably a stretch, but it seemed this dream was a little bit more intimate at the end. So
I agree. And actually, something that I wanted to point out, which I thought was interesting, I don't know if this is the case, but if it is, it's really cool, because they said that they hadn't seen their friend for about 4 or so months, and they specifically pointed out that the room that they were in there was about 4 or 5 bedrooms in it. So I wonder if their brain somehow abstractly like built this metaphor in the dream where there was about 4 or 5 months, or 4 or 5 months represented by 4 or 5 bedrooms in which they would go in and out looking for their friend. Maybe in that time, their brain was like, where were they at that point, and trying to search their memories.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was an interesting correlation.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like it, but I don't know how true that is.
I don't either.
But
I just thought
it sounds really cool. I like it.
It seems like something a director might put in a movie,
Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the songs playing? Do you think that has any bearing?
I mean, so they said that they woke up and that's the songs that they had made specifically for the playlist dedicated to this person. So there's definite emotion, that's attached. Obviously, I mean, the person was crying a lot. I mean,
yeah, they said they've been kind of grieving.
Yeah.
So.
But as far as like romantic feelings, maybe. I mean, both of those songs are romantic in nature, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah, so we really do feel for your loss and hope you feel better.
Yeah, hope you get better.
So it sounds like you're doing the right things to, you know, process your emotions and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, so the next dream is kind of a long one, but it sounds kind of cool. So this dream is from user Elijah LaRock. The title, they said that they've been having this dream since 2019, and instead of running away from her, they were being intimate with her. And so here goes. And it seems like they were pretty lucid for this as well. So I was at my mom's cottage inside my bedroom at North Carolina with my albino girlfriend laying in the same bed as me. She was staring into my eyes in captivation with a warm smile as I was staring into her purple eyes with eyelashes as white as the Scandinavian snows. And her eyebrows are so small, curved and rounded like the yin that swims alongside the yang in a pond together. Her white hair was a short bob that with 2 slightly side-swept bangs. Her skin color is vibrant and pink as the blossomed petals falling off a cherry tree. Her pearly, rounded lips are a sweet color as bubblegum pink. They are so soft and moist that they are too irresistible not to kiss them with the tongue. If you dream of a white man, in particular about an albino, it means that you may face an extraordinary personality, different from all the ordinary people. It may mean that the albino symbolizes your future. Also, I guess this is some interpretation that the user read up. So they say that the albino is seen in a dream as the sign of change, experiencing of hitherto and unknown feelings. Albino in a dream is a sign of unexpected meeting with those whom you lost contact for a long time. If you dream of a close person who appears as an albino, it may mean changes that will happen to this person or changing in the attitude of other relatives and friends to him or her. In this case, you have to help him or cope with future changes, which can be quite painful. It is necessary to distinguish between ordinary dreams, which is in which people just have normal white faces, and dreams in which you see albinos. Okay.
Yeah, so this person goes on for a while explaining basically how dreaming about albino is just basically an extraordinary event that symbolizes something extraordinary.
So it can mean a certain amount of things. They do go on to say the odd part is that they don't even recognize her face. And instead she resembles an original character in a fighting game that they haven't created. And she's laying down on the bed with me inside their room, you know, having like bedroom eyes for each other. And I'm also manifesting someone just exactly like her into my life currently now as we speak. I'm not really sure what that means.
Well, I mean, okay. What do you think about the rest of the dream, though?
It's very, kind of lustfully charged. But great description, though. I don't know what dreams say, or I don't know if albinism is how much of it is a tell in dreams, though.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that it. Here's the thing. You know my stance on dream interpretation books, and just I really do believe the entirety of the meaning has to come from the dreamer themselves. So in this case,
right? I'm just saying in terms of historically and generally.
Okay, historically and culturally.
So so this person posted some European examples of what albinism means. Some from Inca, and they say similar things, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it that way, then this dream kind of means like, hey, you can probably foresee someone entering your life in the near future, right?
Well, so here's my take on it. And
I just don't know how much of this certain thing is a tell, right? That's what I'm saying.
I agree. But so the person goes on to state that this character is very similar to one that they have for a video game that they're working on. So it's something it sounds like it may be something that's common to them because, if they're working on the game and they're familiar with the character, it's something that they may be seeing regularly throughout the week. It's an image that they're well familiar with. And the amount of passion that's described in the dream could have something to do with the project itself, like them being interested in, or not just interested, but actually passionate about the video game project itself. Unless the character itself is based off of someone that they idolize in real life or have some kind of attraction to, an actual living person. But that's the extent of kind of how I think about it.
Oh, I think that's great. And that makes a lot of sense.
Do you think there's any significance about the fact that it takes place in their mother's cottage in, I don't know, in North Carolina. I don't know if that has any. If they're from North Carolina, it may have something, but I don't know.
I don't think so. Well, I think it's more or less a place of familiarity and comfortness and maybe even romantic.
Okay.
From just reading it like that.
A place of safety?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like what you said about the passion. So I think this person really felt impassioned by this dream that they went on to like research about the albinism, right?
Yeah.
And it can, and I think that's what the user wants after reading so much. And I would say to that, like, hey, if you're making a game, then and you're like producing it, and you publish it, then there's a good chance that all sorts of people will come and play the game, and they'll interact with you as like a developer of some sort, right?
Yeah.
As far as how romantic or intimate the dream goes, like I'd probably gather that's something like you've been kind of wanting for a while. Maybe a feeling of loneliness, stemming from loneliness.
Maybe. Honestly, that's a good point. That's a really good point because I know people, like, I don't know what the situation is with the game that they're developing, but, developing a game is a very intensive project. And especially if if they're an indie developer working like on a small team or even just by themselves, then it's probably taking up a lot of their time. So I wonder if there's maybe some reflection on things that they don't have time for because of their work, such as being romantic with another person in real life.
Yeah, trying to find a partner, trying to like actually live, experience, things outside of a game.
Yeah, which, like there's good and bad in becoming fully kind of like enveloped in a project because, if you're passionate about it, it's great because you're following something you're passionate about, but you also may subconsciously realize that there's other things of importance that may be lacking in your life.
Yeah. So I don't know if the albinism is from your game or if it's something like mystic from these like cultural interpretations, but
yeah, either way.
That's really up to you to decide.
Yeah, let us know what you think, Elijah. Yeah, let us know what you think, Elijah. We'd be interested to hear that. Okay, and I see this is the last one. This is from user Sugar Capital. Interesting. I always love reading the different usernames. Let's see, this says, dreams turning into nightmares and nightmares of a growling creature. Sometimes my dreams turn into nightmares and I have nightmares of this animal-like growling creature. Like in one dream, when I was walking through the hallway from my bathroom, some black entity grabbed me and pushed me through the house, making the sound of cats fighting. Okay? And in a most memorable dream, something got on top of me while I was lying in bed and started making growling noises. This dream happened again nights ago, but it was a little different. I never actually got to see this animal creature that does the growling, but all I know is it gets on top of me and it growls and I struggle to get it off of me in my dream. I'd say I have nightmares once every few weeks. Does anyone know what this might mean? I'm a 19-year-old male who just turned 19 yesterday. Could this just be a side effect of forgetting to take my medications or something? Okay.
Well, to that, I would suggest, trying to track your medication and the time with the treating and see if there's any correlation, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know about you, but I know I have really bad asthma and allergies, and if I don't take my medications, it impacts everything in my life, including my dreams, so that's a definite possibility. What about the creature, though? What do you think? What do you make of that?
The person suspects that they're not taking their medications, right? Off of that angle, maybe that, like, hey, you're experiencing some certain turmoil within yourself, and that could be manifesting as this. But if they're like you're being pulled away into something that is obviously scary, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's very unknown, and it sounds like cats fighting. And so, I'm not sure if the cats symbolize anything. I'm not sure what to glean off that. But I think it's, something that maybe, like, you don't want to deal with your health status because you have to take medications. And so, it's like, hey, what happens if I don't stop taking medications? Or what happens if I have to take these medications forever? In both scenarios are kind of, like, unknown and can be scary.
Actually, that's a good point. I remember so this is years ago, but I developed asthma as an adult. So I was really fighting with the fact that I have to take medication for it. like I did not want to take medication for it. Like you have no idea how much I was against taking the medication. So I ended up having some dreams like that, where it was like not necessarily creatures, but like I had this one dream which was like repetitive, where this shirt, like this black shirt that I didn't want to wear, but like it kept like sticking to me. So there's definitely something like that I see here. It's like something that keeps coming back, and it's like it's there, it won't go away, because it's like it's there, it's a part of you. And it's kind of, it sucks, but like honestly, for example, I'm just used to taking my medication now, and I notice when I don't, and it's like I don't know, just it sucks, but sometimes, you know, you have to. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah. And especially for a 19-year-old male, you're kind of looking at all the other guys around you, and it's not something you want to do, but you're kind of comparing, like, hey, man, this guy is like really strong. Like, why can't I be like this guy? Oh, I have to take my medication. I'm, kind of inferior already by default, It's kind of like a really tough thing to overcome.
Yeah, and I remember, when I was a young guy, I was definitely, I don't know, very competitive and very, always comparing myself with others. So I think that may be just like a young person thing, though, that might go away with time. But just from my experience with medication, it's like I just do so much better when I do take it. It's like might as well just. I mean, I don't know what to say here. I mean, as far as like the interpretation, I think the person themselves realizes this.
Yeah. So the only thing we're really entitled to in life is just being happy, right? Not like if you should have quality of life. If your medicine makes you better in that way, then yeah, maybe you should not forget to take it. And even if you're struggling with like comparing yourself, like, hey, you deserve to like be able to function properly, even with assistance. Like, it's not a disability or anything to need a crutch to have that quality of life.
Yeah, and not only that, but you're young. You could grow out of it, whatever it is that you're needing the medication for. So, and also, next 10 to 20 years, we'll have gene editing technology. So there's that to look forward to. I mean, would
you have an idea about this dream if they weren't taking meds? Like, the meds have no correlation. Like, would you have an angle, anything to say about it?
Good question. I would say, okay, so clearly there's something that, a creature, some kind of a animal-like creature. So there's definitely, naturally, we try to associate danger to something like that, especially, if it's kind of like in the dark, or like you can't really make out what it is. It's some kind of unknown danger that you maybe slightly have some idea of what it may be. Something that comes back, and because obviously this is a recurring dream, they said they've had it multiple times. And so it's something negative that's coming back, and it seems to kind of blindside them and come out whenever they don't expect it.
Yeah. So it's like infrequent every few weeks or so, and it kind of just like hits them out of nowhere, it seems.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. I almost want this person to kind of like record themselves sleeping, just in case there's like a stray cat that like comes on and lays on them and sleeps and then gets off before they wake up.
And that reminds me, there's somebody on the Dream Reddit had posted, this is a long time ago, but it was like something along the lines of, my boyfriend kept dreaming that he was being suffocated, and then like she took a picture of like their cat apparently like to get on his face while he's sleeping.
I think I saw that. That's so funny. It's just this fat cat like right up like blocking his like face from breathing.
Like, why that spot specifically? No idea, but yeah, make sure you're not in that type of situation.
So that's all we have for you all today. So just a reminder that, most of this is really for entertainment and our thoughts on it. So take what we said with a grain of salt. If these dreams kind of remind you anything about yourselves, like, we'd love to hear what you guys think too.
Yeah, we're not medical professionals. This is not medical advice, but we do really love dreams, and we also really love hearing people's dreams. So if you guys want to share any of them with us, let us know. We'll be glad to interpret them or draw them out for you. We do, daily drawings of different dreams, and we post them in the Instagram or the Let's Dream Podcast Instagram, or we also on our YouTube channel, Let's Dream Podcasts. We go over dreams and like we make animations of them sometimes, so let us know.
Yeah. leave a like, follow us for more, and we'll see you all in the next one.